You're home.
Hi everyone, I am here with a Bible study. I hope you guys are having a good night. So tonight we are in the book of Matthew, Matthew chapter 28. And tonight the devotion is by Pamela Howard, one of our new writers this year. And let's see, Matthew 28, the verse she picked out to go with her devotion is verse 19, and it says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit." And that, of course, was Jesus talking to his disciples before he ascended into heaven. All right, so let's put that away for now, and let me go read Matthew 28 for you guys. That is the last chapter of Matthew. And we'll be talking about the resurrection, the guard's report, and the Great Commission. Pretty short chapter, actually. What are you doing? You. Don't fall asleep. Come in here. After the Sabbath at dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. There was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven, and going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid of him that they shook and became like dead men. The angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. Now I have told you." So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy, and ran to tell his disciples. But of course, they're not really going to believe them until they see themselves. But two of them, kind of believe. Suddenly, So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid, yet filled with joy, and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said. They came to him, clasped his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me." While the women were on their way, some of the guards went into the city and reported to the chief priests everything that had happened. When the chief priests had met with the elders and devised a plan, they gave the soldiers a large sum of money, telling them, "You are to say, his disciples came during the night and stole him away while you were asleep. If this report gets to the governor, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble." So the soldiers took the money and did as they were instructed. And this story has been widely circulated among the Jews to this very day. Still to this very day. Then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age." Amen. Our next Bible study, by the way, guys, will be in 2 Corinthians chapter 5. So I'll get that set up when we're done here. Okay, so let's see what Pamela's devotion says. She says, I remember my first try at evangelizing. I was at a church event held near a local park. We were told to approach strangers in pairs, tell them the good news, and invite them to church. As a new believer, this was very tough for me. I was tongue-tied and embarrassed to walk up to people in New York City that I didn't know. Some people can be cruel and mean, too. They don't like people. They don't like religious people, some people. New Yorkers definitely didn't want to be distracted, I reasoned. But the truth is, I was ashamed and ashamed of being ashamed. How would I make disciples of all the nations when I couldn't even approach someone in the park up the street? After years of going around the mountain, I settled the evangelism issue in my heart. I would share my faith naturally in whatever way I could, with whomever I could, whenever I saw an opportunity. I would be mindful, willing, and available. Resolving this dilemma has freed me to have many wonderful Jesus encounters with waitresses, neighbors, HVAC repairmen, extended family members, folks in nursing homes, and grocery store clerks. Even small gestures like writing "Jesus cares about you" on the envelope with a hotel staff tip or on a diner check in evangelism. As a result of being available this way, I prayed with many and even seen some healed in Jesus' name. Don't get me wrong, evangelistic events and overseas mission trips are awesome experiences. But the main way I fulfill the Great Commission is by simply sharing my faith with people I encounter as I walk life's journey. All right. I like that. Even small gestures like writing "Jesus cares about you" on the envelope with a hotel staff tip or on a dinner check is evangelism. Just the little things. You're still witnessing to someone about Jesus, about God. All right, guys, and your homework tonight is commit to being mindful of Him, willing and available to speak for Him as you go about your daily activities. All right. Always be thinking about God, Jesus, and always be available to talk to someone about them. Because you never know when that person may really, really need to hear about God and Jesus. They may be contemplating suicide, and they really need to hear about God and Jesus. Nobody's ever told them about them before. They're just waiting for someone to bring them up. They're just waiting for someone to know someone cares. Next Bible study, 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Let's put that down. I got a circle of kindness, guys. My aunt was here today, so I got 2 of them. This necklace is driving me crazy. I have very sensitive skin, and it's really itching my neck. I don't think I'll be able to wear it anymore. This one's got a little poem beside of it by William Wordsworth, and I like it. It says, "There's joy in the mountains, there's life in the fountains. Small clouds are selling, blue sky prevailing. The rain is over and gone." All right, and the first circle of kindness is by Danielle Moreland from Ontario. "His gift made me happy for days. Our elderly dog was experiencing a lot of health problems and every week we were at the vet's office spending loads of money we didn't have to get her better. She was also prescribed special food that was costly. One day my husband came home with 2 large cases of her new food. His co-worker, George's dog, had passed away, and it turns out our dogs were on the same special diet. He gave us over $150 worth of food. It literally made me so happy for days. I couldn't get over his kindness for thinking about us. That stuff can get very, very expensive, as you see. And I don't know why they charge that much for it. You know that stuff isn't that expensive. Just like with humans' medicine and stuff as well. It's ridiculous. It don't cost them nothing to make it. Hardly anything. And they cost an arm and a leg. It's sad. It's very sad. Like some of my medicines alone are over $500 a bottle. If it wasn't for the insurance, there's no way I'd be able to get it. Alright. And the next one is by Allison Wilson Lee from Florida. She was such a helpful cashier. One day I walked to the grocery store with my toddler in his stroller. I picked up all the items on my list, stowed them in the bottom of the stroller, then stood in line at the checkout counter. After the cashier rang up my purchases, I realized I had forgotten my wallet at home. The clerk offered to set my groceries aside for me while I walked back home for my wallet. I hurried home, picked up my wallet, and then rushed back to the store. Thankfully, she kept my groceries safe until I got back with my wallet. Thanks to that helpful cashier, I didn't have to make a second trip through the aisles to find what I needed with a toddler in tow. Her kindness helped make my day a little easier. That was really nice, because some people, the cashier really took a chance, and she took a chance on the cashier as well. Because some cashiers would have been like, told somebody in stock, you know, put this stuff back, because they're not coming back, and, you know, and the cashier also took a chance on her, the customer, because, you know, they're probably used to a lot of people saying that and then not showing back up as well. So it worked out great for both of them. And the last one is by Carol G. from Georgia. It felt great to help. While I waited to mail a package at my post office, the postmistress asked those behind me what services they required. The man behind me replied that he only needed a stamp to mail a letter. The postmistress asked if he had the exact change. He replied that he only had a $10 bill. Since we just opened, that will take all of my change, the postmistress said. I typically toss change in the bottom of my purse. So I dug around and found 55 cents and offered it to him. Thanking me, he posted his letter and exited the post office. As I headed out to my car later, I noticed someone in an SUV waving at me. It was the gentleman and his wife. They waited for me to again acknowledge my kindness. It felt great to help. They waited for her again, just to wave at her and thank her again for her help for the 55 cents. Wasn't that sweet? They really appreciated that 55 cents. Like I tell you guys over and over, it's the little things made the old man's day just for a 55-cent stamp. Now, if you could do that just to make someone's day better, wouldn't you? I sure would. Alright, now let's do our animal devotion. Sherm? Sherm?
Yeah.
Come here.
Why?
Come on. It's time. Smokey says, pick your animal. Sit down. Pick your animal. Last thing I got to do. Pick your animal.
Duck.
Sturp's got a duck. What do you guys say? I'm asking you now because the title gives it away. You got your animals? Okay. Quack, quack. As Sherm says, a duck. The Bible verse is Psalm 143:8. Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go, for to you I entrust my life. And this one is by Tracy Joy Jones, and the story is called Remember the Turtles. Turtles, turtles, turtles. On our last beach vacation, I left my still sleeping family and headed out on a sunrise walk. What's she gonna do, see sea turtles? As the sky warmed to pink and gold, I smiled in wonder at the unmistakable tracks of leatherback sea turtles crisscrossing the sand to lay their eggs in the dunes. Ahead of me, a small crowd circled around the nest. At their center, the sand splashed and stirred as a baby turtle fought its way to the surface and immediately began paddling through the sand toward the sea. Although the hatchling was born to become a giant, the long journey ahead was daunting. The turtle tumbled into each footprint as if it were a crater, only to fight its way up the other side. It didn't stop to consider its size or the obstacles in its way, only the call of the sea. As I watched the struggle, a tear slid down my cheek. I knew God was speaking to my heart. How many times have the footprints of others became my stumbling block? How many times have I questioned why my journey mattered when others have done it bigger or better? How many times have my small beginnings deterred me from a giant future? 14 minutes later, the little champion slipped into the sea and swam away, and conviction settled in me. It was time for me to be brave. One day, I might be a giant turtle. I might leave my own trail in the sand, if only I have the courage to fight through the footprints of others and follow my own heart. Lord, help me not to be intimidated by the successes and failures of those who have gone before me. Thank you that their footsteps don't lead to my destiny. Help me to remember the turtles and press on. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Alright guys, let's put Smokey back where he belongs. Okay, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible study. Good night, guys. God bless.